Welcome to my channel. My name is Lone Helen. I'm a super seller. In today's video, I'm going to teach you my step-by-step tips and tricks on how to turn returns to revenue to increase sales numbers, increase sales profit, and overall sales experience. Now, before I spill the beans on how to make revenue on returns, you need to understand that returns aren't negative. Even if a customer comes to return a product, it does not mean that you've lost that customer. Quite the opposite. Step number 1 is positive customer experience. According to recent research, customers that have great customer experiences when it comes to returns are more likely to come back at another time to buy from that same store, which means you need to make sure that you avoid friction and keep things positive. And the way to do that is to make returns convenient. Always approach the customer with a smile and a friendly face, and make sure your return policy is hassle-free. Step number 2 is active listening. I've said this already on my channel, and I will keep saying it. Active listening is very important. It is something you have to work on. Active listening is not as simple as it sounds because you need to make sure that you are focused on that customer. So avoid distractions when you're talking to the customer. Drop everything you have in your hands. It's an important skill for both you and your sales team to be working on active listening. Like I said, stop what you're doing, show that you're listening, nod, smile, use your body language to show that you're actually receiving what they're telling you. Don't worry about formulating a response to what the customer told you before they're actually done and finished talking. Once they have, you can then rephrase what you heard to then better make good suggestions and recommendations for other products. And I would love to know, so comment down below, what is the reason you make returns? Is it because you don't try it on at the store, or do you only return gifts? Please let me know down in the comment section. Step number 3 is ask your questions. To make the right recommendations with the best chance of creating a positive customer experience, you need to understand their needs on a deeper level. That means asking more than just the standard, what was wrong with the item? Why are they returning the item? When the reason isn't an outright problem with the item, the customer may not give you that much detail at this point. That's why it's important for you to ask and figure out why they're actually returning the item. What expectations did the item fall short on? This question can determine if there was a disconnect between the customer and the product and what they actually wanted, or if there's a disconnect between the customer and the sales clerk. With these questions, you can easier get the whole picture of what the customer wants and what they did not get from that product. And also in that way, you can collect information about your different products and why they are being returned. Step number 4 is cross-selling and making recommendations. Asking the right questions is 2 things. It helps you gather key information about why they're making the return. It lets the customer know that they're being heard. Feeling respected and understood makes customers more receptive to cross and upselling. And that's because they know it's coming from a good place and it's coming from a place of empathy. Once you've gone through that process, the last thing you want to do is to lose the customer here. So train yourself to see the benefit of every single product you have so you can easily recommend more products to the same customer. Say she's buying a jacket. She's trying it on in a dressing room, so you go and get a scarf. So you go and you put it on her, and while doing that, you tell her why you got that scarf and how it's gonna benefit both her and the whole outfit, which will make it so weird for her not to get the scarf and the jacket, because that would ruin the whole outfit. So train yourself to see the benefit of every single product you have and how they can correlate with each other. In that way, cross-selling goes hand in hand when making revenue on returns. Step number 5 is make the most out of all returns. Returns can give you important information about what products the customers return and why they are returning it. By looking for patterns in shoppers' return activity, you can figure out why that product is being returned. That means that you can address the situation and the problem before it even happens. That means you will minimize returns and also increase customers' satisfaction when it comes to your products, which will then boost your bottom line. And that's a win-win situation. Now, if you really love these tips I just gave you, then make sure you hit the subscribe button, because in the next video, I will teach you how to increase your sales by cross-selling. Now, if you want to learn more about sales and retail, make sure you check out these 2 videos right here. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week. Bye!